I'm here with Ron Highsmith, the director of the Nick Cannon Foundation via Skype. Also joining us in the studio is Brittany Ferguson, Vice President and Branch Manager for JP Morgan Chase. This is the second student workshop for the 2018 Nick Cannon ATM Student Business Plan Competition. Today, Ron will be addressing the business plan component of the competition, while Brittany will be discussing financial planning. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
Well, hi, Betty Jo. Thank you so much. And I just want to say I am so excited to be here with you all, virtually speaking, of course. And thank you so much for this opportunity. This is actually the second time, no, actually the third time that I have done this competition. And I cannot tell you all how very impressed I am with your level of execution with these business plans, your commitment to this. You all are essentially small business owners and entrepreneurs, something that you should be very proud of. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the importance of financial health and the importance of establishing sound banking relationships. So as mentioned by Betty Jo, I am a vice president and branch manager with JP Morgan Chase Bank. I've been in banking and finance for about the last 14 years or so for a while. And I am super excited to speak to you all today about this. So I want to start off with a statistic that is alarming to me. Sad but true. Surveys show that only 12% of high school seniors learn about money management in school. 12%. Can you guys believe that? So a lot of the money problems that Americans are facing could have been avoided if personal finance was taught earlier in school. And I'll just tell you guys something. You are so lucky to have the opportunity to be learning about these money management skills and financial health right now at this point in your life, so early on. I'm just going to throw myself out there. I didn't get that benefit. So for me, I didn't learn about the importance of financial health and saving money, sound investments, the cost of credit, just healthy money management skills and discipline until I was in college. And by that time, to be completely honest with you guys, I had made some mistakes in my own personal finances. So this is huge, and I hope that you do understand the gravity of establishing sound financial discipline and skills early on. If a lot of your parents ever complain to you all about financial difficulties, it could be because they were in the same shoes that I was in. The first step is to keep your cash secure. You do that by establishing a relationship with a bank or financial institution. It could be a credit union. Hey, it could be Chase Bank where I work. No matter where it is, though, I want you all to choose at this age a bank or financial institution to start a relationship with. You can do it as a high school student. Many banks now offer options to you all where you can establish an account with your parents on there with you. And then as you transition into college or the next stages of your life, you can actually establish accounts by yourself. But what this does is it offers a safe place to save your money. How many times have you received money for a birthday or, a graduation or a special event, Christmas, for example, and then it just burns a hole in your pocket because you have not put it up in a safe place. And then you have nothing to show for it later. We don't want you all to ever experience that again. So it's important to find a safe place to save your money. Banks also offer low-cost banking options to you because there also are some very expensive alternative financial services, such as relying on services like check cashing places that offer money orders or things that you will need to just get by in life. Those options are expensive, guys, and it is important for you to keep your hard-earned money in your pocket. So it's definitely important to establish a relationship early on. The other benefit of that is as you start to progress throughout life and you start to do things like buying your first home or buying your first car, you will already have a relationship with the bank that shows that you can be trusted, that you are a loyal client. So it gets you more apt to be approved for those things that you're applying for later in life. Now, what can a bank do for you? Well, as you see, there are plenty of different options listed here on this particular slide. I'm going to start with something that I already mentioned to you. Checking and savings accounts. Those are the very basic products. Again, it does allow you to keep your money safe And the longer that you have a relationship with the bank in terms of a checking or savings account, and as long as you manage those accounts properly, it definitely sets you up for success when you need business accounts later as small business owners and entrepreneurs. Credit cards. Credit cards are key. Right now, you all are probably not old enough to have a credit card just yet, but credit cards are extremely important, especially when it comes to small business. Credit is huge as an adult. Credit lets you do a number of things, from getting approved for your first home that you want to buy to simply getting a cell phone or cable nowadays. So having a credit card helps you to establish good credit as long as you keep your promise. All credit is essentially is that it's a promise to pay. It shows that you keep your promises and that you do what you say you're going to do. A credit card is basically extended to you by a financial institution, and it has a set amount of money on there that you can use by the form of a plastic card that you can keep in your purse or your wallet. You can utilize this card to make purchases, and then at the end of the month, you will pay that amount back. As long as you pay it back on time, again, that shows that you are keeping your promise to borrow and pay back. To borrow and pay back. You can do this as much as you want because it's called a revolving credit line. This is huge in terms of establishing credit. Also for business, if you do perform well with a personal credit card, then a bank will more than likely extend to you a business credit card. And that's going to be huge for business owners like yourself. In the future, you may need money, quickly, if you don't have the cash flow yourself to buy supplies, to maybe pay off some of your vendors, things like that. And so credit cards will enable you to be able to do that successfully. And it's at your fingertips. Something else that you might see listed there towards the bottom are merchant services for business banking. Banks also offer that. What merchant services allow you all to do is to accept payments for whatever service or product that you are marketing for right now. Now, I'm assuming that most of you all don't have non-for-profit organizations. So in this case, you do want to make a profit with your business, and I'm sure that that's part of your business plans that you've been working on. So merchant services allow you to get paid for what you do by the form of a credit card or a debit card. Additionally, as you'll see listed there at the bottom, are loans. Loans are offered by banks as well. Loans, especially for small business owners, can be extremely helpful when you want to see your business grow and thrive. Who doesn't want to see their business expand over time, right? That is the goal, to help your business continue to grow as you are successful. Loans will enable you to do that if you don't have the capital or liquid assets to be able to fund your next dream right now. So what a loan essentially enables you to do is to borrow a set amount of money from a bank, and then you can pay that amount of money back over a certain preset period of time with a preset interest rate for borrowing the money. And then you also have a set price that you will pay back. So there is a set amount that you will pay back every single month that will never change. So you have the peace of mind of knowing exactly what your business expenses will be every month. And simultaneously, your business has been able to grow. So that is why loans are so important. So again, if you perform well with your personal checking accounts, then your business checking accounts, then your savings accounts, your credit cards, and perhaps other business services such as merchant services like I mentioned, then it will be much easier for you all to obtain the business loan that you need. Lastly, investments. Banks do offer an opportunity to do investments as well. And I'm sure that many of you have been able to consider the importance of the fact that having investors give you additional capital to help you fund your dream and fund your business is huge. You can also invest that money back into a bank to help your money grow as your business prospers. Now, as small business owners and entrepreneurs, Chase for Business, and I'm speaking about Chase because that's where I'm from, will always, always celebrate you and thank you for your business and thank you for your loyalty by celebrating National Small Business Week. So this happens to be that week. So this is your week, guys. So for those of you that are looking at this current slide, it says Chase is a proud sponsor of National Business Week. Currently running, we got a couple days left, but it's amazing. We always, always honor you all by offering additional products, services, discounts, promotions, specials, various things of that nature just for you because you're a small business owners. And I can't tell you all also that the spotlight is on you currently as millennial business leaders. And it is huge right now. You all are truly the next generation of our leaders. And that is because you look at things in a much different light based on all of the technology advances that are at your fingertips right now and the utilization of social media as a marketing tactic. You all have that down. So you're one step ahead of where we were even 10 years ago. So you truly are the next leaders. We are actually going to give you all an opportunity as well to ask additional questions to Ron. So you can definitely email him if you have additional questions for myself or for him as it relates to financial health or the importance of establishing banking relationships. I just want to let you all know as well, as I end this today, it is super important for you all to get to know the people at your financial institution that you're going to be working with. So whether that's a personal banker that establishes your very first checking account or savings account, whether that's a branch manager like myself, the next person in charge that you can utilize as a secondary point of contact, make sure that you go in there and you ask questions. You know, you let them know if you're concerned about something. Let them know that you really want to get to know the people in your bank so that you can establish those sound relationships so that when you have financial needs, we are able to meet that on a personal level. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Again, good luck, guys, with your business plans. And Ron, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much. Hey, this is Ron Highsmith with the Nick Cannon Foundation. And we want to welcome you guys to workshop number 2. And we want to just thank Brittany so much for telling you the value of establishing good banking relationships. That is so important in establishing a business. And we want to make sure also in your business plans that you do address in your financials that how you're going to secure working capital and how you're going to build to make sure you have the adequate funding and resources in your business that you can grow. Okay, so real quick, I just want to just kind of go over what I'd like to do today is to go over a couple of sample business plans from previous competitions that were in our top 3. And I'll go over a couple of business plans, and then I'll also go over some financial projections and just kind of walk you through what we expect to see, and hopefully that will be useful to you guys. And so just want to remind you right now on our screen, we have our website at nickcannonfoundation.org. I want to remind you guys that under the B Plan Center, that's for the Business Plan Center, make sure you guys take advantage of these resources. We have a number of resources here available to you guys. There's videos. We just actually added a couple of more links here. Some good examples, some example business plans, how to write an executive summary. You can learn about how to protect your ideas and your intellectual property. You can learn about pitching your business. Some really amazing articles and some really good resources here. And then if you scroll down here to the bottom, there's quite a few video presentations too. Some of them are kind of lengthy, but I do encourage you guys in areas that you know, you may not be sure about certain things as relate to legal issues, your business pitches, or your financial modeling or management, the things that we're not able to cover during our workshops. I guarantee you, you can find some amazing resources here under this link here. So what I'd like to do now is to walk you through a sample business plan. Here's a business plan from our 2016 competition called Acrophonics. This team actually did a really good job. They did partner with a large business. They partnered with Radio Shack engineers, and they took a product that Radio Shack was already taking to the marketplace, and they partnered with the engineers, and they developed a Bluetooth stereo system to go with a remote control car. So it was really amazing. They had a lot of the market research available to them with Radio Shack. We definitely encourage you guys, if you can, to partner with, other small business in the community. It's not a requirement, but we just think you guys can learn so much from other like-minded local entrepreneurs there in San Diego. So just kind of give an overview. They gave a summary of the purpose of their company, which was to enhance remote control vehicles by inserting a speaker operated by the consumer's smartphone, which was really amazing. They were able to operate the Bluetooth from their cell phone. So they talk a little bit here about the problem. And then they also talk about their solution. Here they talk a little bit about their target in terms of age group. And then they list their competition. As you know, our business plan is only 10 pages. So you don't have, fairly simple process, but you're very limited in space. So we thought that they did a really good job at covering a lot of information in their 10 pages. So what they hear too, they talked about their competition, and that's one of the things that's important that we want you guys to also talk about in your business plan. It's very important for you to do your research and find out who your competition is. Find out who your competition is. Find out some of their pricing, so that you can make sure that as you price your services or your products, that they will be competitive. And we'd like for you to be able to demonstrate how your pricing and for your services and your products and services will be competitive, and that you will be able to beat out your competition. Let's see here. So they actually work with two different products that Radio Shack was taken to the marketplace. One was called Momentum, and the other one was called Nemesis. And, if you look at their graphics, some very amazing graphics. This was Kearney High School. They actually have a 3D printer, so they were able to make some really amazing 3D prints of their prototype. So we also encourage you guys, if you have a prototype of your product or of your business, or if you have products, if it's a T-shirt company, a fashion business, make sure on the 23rd that you bring your sample products, and so that you can have them for your presentations as well as the pitches. Here's some more 3D modeling. And here they start talking about some of their startup costs. They put it in a nice simple table. And then here they start talking about how they want to start out with a base, and then how they want to expand their business over time. Then here they go into their 7-year revenue projection. We like to see at least 3 years of revenue projection. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later in this presentation. But we like to see a minimum of 3, but if you can do a projection of more than 3, that is totally up to you. So here they start talking a little bit about their team. There was only 2 students on their team. As you know, you can have up to 4 members of your team. And here's their resume. So here's a sample resume. And then just, guys, to let you know, too, that I will be emailing out at least 2 sample business plans later tonight. So these 2 plans here, I will also have available to you guys by email. But resume is very important, too. The resume is really how you're going to market and sell yourself. So a lot of times if we have two competitive business plans that are very close, a lot of times the qualification of their teams, the qualifications of the resume really might be the difference that sets you apart from the next business plan. So we don't expect you guys to have a lot of work experience at your age, but take this time to tell us about some of your hobbies, your extracurricular activities. Looks like in this case, Ethan was very active at Kearney in their robotics competition. So if you're involved in extracurricular activities, make sure that you convey that in your business plans. So in your resumes, and the resumes only have to be in there. They have a one page limit. So you have to be creative to make sure that you include as much as you can in that one page. So, okay. Okay, so the next one we'll go over is Gamma Tech. Gamma Tech was in our top 3 in 2016 as well. And Gamma Tech was a business under our information technology and communications cluster, CTE cluster. Gamma Tech was a cell phone repair business. If you could look at here, this is their cover page, nice graphics. I know you guys, a lot of you have just amazing graphics abilities. Make sure that in your business plan, and particularly in your PowerPoint as well, that use as many graphics as you possibly can. Okay, here's their table of contents. Okay, here's your executive summary. And also, guys, make sure your executive summary is a part of your business plan. Do not submit those in separate files. Make sure your executive summary is a part of your Word file. So here they talk a little bit about their mission, some of the things that they think that are important for them to be successful. Kind of a company summary, and they talk about ownership, their startup, and some of their startup costs, and some of the services. So here they give an overview of a 3-year projection, revenue projection. And then here they just kind of talk about the volume of public service calls, which in that case drives their revenue. Here's their market analysis, very short and succinct. Their market segment strategy, and their service business analysis. Let's see here. Personnel plan. So here they talk a little bit about the financial plan and their startup funding. They give a breakdown here of what they'll need for their startup costs. And here's their projected cash flow. I'm going to talk a little bit more about cash flow in a minute, but here they kind of gave a monthly projection of their cash flow. So that's essentially what you're going to be doing in your financial. Once again, we want at least a minimum of a 3-year annual revenue projection. So what we'd like to see is a breakdown of 1 year based on monthly, and then you can just do a projection. If you think you're going to grow by 20% each year, you could take that base year and then just do a projection for your next 2 years. Okay, so now you guys also know that there's a PowerPoint visual that you guys will also be submitting the same day as your PowerPoints, as your business plans, and actually probably should have presented the PowerPoint for the business plan. But what I'll do now is go back and kind of share both of those. But I will be sending both of them out to you by email. So here is the PowerPoint presentation of Aquaphonics, and this was the team that partnered with Radio Shack. Let's see here. And you guys can, just to give you a good idea of just, some of the graphics, they use photos. Here's just a picture of the two teammates. Copy of partner there. Here's a copy, it's actually a picture of Momentum, which is one of the remote control cars that they actually added a Bluetooth stereo to. It was very neat. And when they showed up at the showcase, they actually brought these prototypes with them. You get the target age, initial startup cost, and their projected sales. And when it comes to doing revenue projections, we just want you guys to be, give us realistic revenue. We know you guys, we want you all to grow to be multimillionaires, and we want your businesses to be, billion-dollar organizations. But if you submit a business plan and you show us that you're going to do $50 million in your second year, we really going to want to see some backup. So when you do your market research and you find out who your competition is, look at the revenue of some of your competition and use that as a basis for your projections. But anyway, we definitely want you to, give us realistic revenue projections. And they were even planning to carry on their business to also include drones. But you guys get the idea there. So what I'm going to do is go over real quick the PowerPoint for Gamma Tech. So this one is the cell phone repair business. They also submitted their PowerPoint, and this is they submitted their business plan and their PowerPoint in conjunction. Your PowerPoint in conjunction with your business plan together is how we're going to score you. So if you're not able to include many graphics in your business plan, take that opportunity for your PowerPoint to show us additional graphics and presentations of your business concept. So these guys had, they kind of represented themselves in their PowerPoint. Showing their market research, but using visuals. Gotta use visuals. You gotta use visuals. It's worth 1,000 words. So here they listed the market competition. And then they did a representation of their 3-year revenue projection. So it's okay if you presented something in your business plan that's very vital in your PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, great. So that concludes kind of a run through of two sample business plans, as long as they're PowerPoint presentations. And and I will be sending those out to everyone that's actually registered that we have non-disclosure agreements for. So I will be sending an email out later tonight with both of those samples. So now, to conclude, I'd just like to take a few minutes and go over some revenue and cash flow projections for you. This is a sample business plan that I prepared many years ago. But what it does here, first of all, there's a presentation of your prospective cash flow projections. So this is how you start your revenue. We want you to do a monthly cash flow to come up with what your revenue would be for 1 year. And that's all we want to see. Give us a monthly projection of your cash flow for 1 year. Then you could take that 1 year and do a projection. You know, if you're going to have 30% growth, you take your base year, add 30%, and say your revenue, and then that would be your revenue for year 2. And then if you expect to have another 50% growth the next year, then you just do a projection. So the only thing we really need to see is your base 1 year, and we'd like to see your monthly cash flow. So what this it shows here, this company had 2 primary contracts that generated income. So the first contract, number 1, generated $41,000 in August, and then contract number 2 generated $135,000 in August. So the total monthly cash flow revenue for August was $176,000. So you do that projection out for each month, and then you show a summary at the end, what was your total revenue for the year. So then you show what your expenses were. You know, in most companies, one of your biggest costs is going to be your labor, and that is the cost of paying your employees. So you're going to have labor costs, and then you're going to have some costs because you want to be able to pay them, you know, benefits, whether it be dental, health care. Usually, you know, it's about 35% of what the cost would be for your total labor. So labor is a major cost for any business. So other types of costs is going to be salaries for your administrative people. You're going to have rent. You're going to have costs for utilities, costs for equipment and supplies, just as in this. And I also emailed a copy of this out to you guys as well. So what we'd like to see is a breakdown of what your revenue is, and then show us what your expenses are. So the difference is going to be what your total revenue is going to be. So it's basically going to be your revenue minus your expenses. Very, very simple. You show us what all your revenue projections is for the year by month, and then you come up with a total annual revenue. And then what you can do is, this next slide here will show, let's see here. So you take each year, it's a summary here. So in that first year, the total revenue was 2.6 million. And so you see for year 2 and year 3, it's just a projection from that base year of 2.6 million. So we had quite considerable growth from year 1 to year 2, from 2.6 million to 4 million. And then from year 3, we went from 4 million to 7 million. So that's total revenue. So then you also will show what your total cost was annually for each year. And then finally, you take your revenue minus your cost, and you get your final profits before taxes. And that's another thing too. We're not going to ask you to cover taxes for this competition. That gets a little more complicated. So we just want to see basically your revenue minus your expenses. And in this case, they had a 1.6 million the first year, 2.5 revenue million the second year, and 4.6 the third year. So, okay, so that pretty much concludes workshop number 2. We want to thank you guys for watching these videos. We're gonna have at least one more workshop, and in the next workshop, we're gonna spend more time hearing you guys present your PowerPoint presentations. By now, you guys should be far enough down the road where that you guys have your PowerPoints at least in a presentable fashion. So we're gonna have at least 1 or 2 more workshops next week, and we'll take that opportunity to hear some of your presentations and give you feedback. So good luck, everybody. I look forward to seeing you guys on the 23rd. Nick Cannon will be in the house. He's excited to hear your presentations, and work hard. You know, you guys be resourceful. And if you have questions, you can always email me at rhighsmith@nickcannonfoundation.org. That's RHIGHSMITH at nickcannonfoundation.org. Thank you so much.